Hello, everyone. I'm Jack Hammer, and I wanted to jump in real quick and give you my instant reaction to the 49ers 30-20 loss on Sunday Night Football to the Green Bay Packers. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. As I mentioned, the 49ers lost their home opener to the Packers 30-28, excuse me. For the second week in a row, the 49ers offense just could not get it in gear until the end of the first half. But unlike last week, when they were able to come back against Philadelphia, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense made them pay. By the time San Francisco scored at the end of the first half, they were already down 17-0. A spirited second half comeback would see Jimmy Garoppolo hit Kyle Juszczyk for a 12-yard touchdown pass to give San Francisco a 28-27 lead with only 37 seconds remaining. But when you have Aaron Rodgers on their side of the field, 37 seconds is too much, even if they don't have any timeouts. The lead would be short-lived as Rodgers would twice find Davante Adams over the middle of the field to set up Packers kicker Mason Crosby for a 51-yard field goal attempt. Mosley would nail the kick to win the game for Green Bay and send the 49ers to 2-1 while improving Green Bay's record to 2-1 as well. Now let's take a look at the answers to the burning questions that I asked on Saturday to see how this game slipped away from the 49ers. Number one, the first question was, will the 49ers run defense improve? And that's a yes and a no. The run defense had been an issue for the 49ers in each of the first two games this season, and Sunday night was more of the same. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon combined for 100 yards on 25 carries, including a touchdown by Jones, and 8 attempts combined, which would go for 5 yards or more. That number was quite a bit lower than what we've seen from the 49ers throughout most of the year. That's why I gave them the answer of yes and no. San Francisco was able to balance out some of those big runs with stops for short gains and losses, but things play out a little differently when facing a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers compared to the guys that they faced in the first 2 weeks. Number two, can the 49ers defense contain Aaron Rodgers? And that's a big no. Despite Green Bay being down to their third option at left tackle, San Francisco could not generate any pass rush. Rodgers dropped back to pass 34 times total in the game, and the 49ers defense was able to hit him only twice. A lot of that had to do with short passes being called and him getting the ball out of his hands quickly, but still, that's a number that just cannot be happening, especially when facing against a team who's down to one of their last options to play that spot. Rodgers would finish the game 23 of 33 for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rodgers took a number of deep shots, with 3 of those resulting in defensive pass interference calls, giving the Packers another 81 yards. So when you add up what he did throw for, along with those pass interference yards that they gave up, that's over 340 yards of total offense through the air for the Packers on Sunday night against the 49ers. Rodgers, like I said, routinely got the ball out of his hands quickly, which helped to somewhat negate that pass rush. And with the game on the line, he showed how and why he is among the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Down by 2 with no timeouts and only 37 seconds left, Rodgers hit Davante Adams deep over the middle of the field for a 25-yard gain to get the ball out to midfield. And then 3 plays later, facing 3rd and 10, Rodgers would find Adams again on the left side of the field for 17 yards to set up that game-winning field goal. The San Francisco defense has been living by bending without breaking, which works great when you're going up against quarterbacks like Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts. But Rodgers exposed them throughout this game with a lot of help from Davante Adams. Number 3, who will be running the ball for San Francisco? The answer is Trey Sermon and a host of others, but quite frankly, I don't think anybody was really running the ball for the 49ers tonight. You know, the 49ers came into this game and they had 4 running backs that were active. Only Trey Sermon actually got into the game. San Francisco would end up using Sermon, fullback Kyle Juszczyk, tight end George Kittle, wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel, along with Trey Lance to run the ball. And for the most part, it just didn't work out as they had finished the night with only 67 yards on 21 carries. Sermon, for example, had 31 yards total on the night on his 10 carries, but one of those was for 16 yards, which means that his other 9 went for a total of 15. Not what you need in order to win the game. And the 49ers overall, they're not going to win many games when you have 45 plays that are pass calls and only 20 that are running plays, especially for a team like the 49ers that's built to run the ball. Number 4, can Jimmy Garoppolo keep winning on Sunday night? The answer there is no. For the first time in his career, Jimmy Garoppolo lost a start on Sunday Night Football. And this was the Jimmy Garoppolo experience in full display. As I mentioned last week during my write-up, watching Garoppolo can just be maddening. Throughout much of the first half, the 49ers offense looked like it was trying to run uphill in the rain. The 49ers were able to achieve a first down on their opening possession of the game, but after that, they were stuck sliding back down that wet hill. On their first 3 possessions, San Francisco offense ran 9 plays total, the same number as the first 3 possessions last week in Philadelphia. It was on the 3rd possession of the game that Garoppolo would throw his first interception of the season. That came on first down when Garoppolo would try to hit George Kittle deep down the middle of the field, only to find Jaire Alexander, who would step in front of the tight end to take the ball away. That big play, win against San Francisco. Then another one came later on with just over 5 minutes left in the game. After moving the ball across midfield to the Green Bay 44-yard line, Garoppolo would be pressured on a screen pass. Instead of taking the sack, he would try to throw the ball away. This sounds like a good idea, except when he threw the ball, it went backwards, and it was recovered by the Packers at the 49ers' 38-yard line. Green Bay would convert this turnover into a field goal, and those 3 points would prove to be pivotal at the end of the game. On that next possession, though, and this is where that Garoppolo experience comes into full effect, he would lead that offense all the way down the field, 75 yards, culminating when he would hit Kyle Juszczyk for a 12-yard touchdown pass. The key play on that drive was a completion from Garoppolo to George Kittle over the middle of the field that went for a 39-yard catch and run. Overall, Garoppolo would finish the night 25 of 40 for 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and that one backwards pass. As for my last question was, will Trey Lance get into the game? And that's yes. The rookie quarterback made his presence felt on his first play of the game, and that came with only seconds remaining in the first half and no timeouts, when Lance took the shotgun snap and outran the Packers defense on a sweep to the left. The play was a gutsy call from Kyle Shanahan because the 49ers had no timeouts remaining, and if Lance does not get in the end zone there's not going to be enough time to spike the ball or anything, and the 49ers would have gone into the half without any points. Instead, Lance made it work, and the 49ers went in at halftime down by only 10, 17-7. As for my prediction, I had the 49ers 30, Packers 24. Hey, at least the winning team, I got that one right as far as their point total at 30. But unfortunately, the 49ers lost this one, dropped to 2-1, and are going to have to come back next week to take on the Seattle team that is now 1-2, and they're going to have to try to bury them in this division race. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining so late, and have a great night, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.